Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live stream. Hello and welcome. Just want to double check. Yes, I am live. Here we go. So, hello, everyone. If you are here with me watching live, go ahead and make a comment in the chat box. Say hello. And if you are catching this on the replay, let me also know in the chat box by saying replay. Hello, Brianne. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm really excited about this announcement. I made an announcement to my clients first. Hi, Madison. And I'm going to be sharing with all of you guys the big shift that is happening inside of my business and also how I make every single decision out of my intuition. I don't just eat intuitively. I am very intuitive in every area of my life. In my relationships, in how I run my business, in everything that I do, I have really mastered tapping into my intuition. And today, after I share the changes that are happening, I'm also going to share with you some intuitive based tools that I use on a regular basis that help me make decisions purely in alignment with my higher self. And I'm very excited because, I actually used to be very, very, very illogical. I would look at people who would be very intuitive and they're like, I just felt this decision. It just feels right. And I'm like, okay, but does it make sense? What are the pros? What are the cons? Like, I need to logic my way to make sure that it makes sense. And I didn't feel like I even had an intuition. But over the years of practicing specific tools and strategies, I've really mastered feeling into my intuition. And now I feel like I'm extremely intuitive. And it's so crazy because Andrew said to me the other day, he's like, you're just like a master at your intuition. He's like, now I'm the more logical guy, and you're just all based off of feeling. You do things that are so in alignment for you, and it's true, and it hasn't always been that way. And I want to just even start off this live stream with, if you feel like you don't have an intuition, you want to be very intuitive, but you're very logical, you could be that intuitive person because I've gotten there. So I'm very, very excited. So obviously, the purpose of this live stream is to share a pretty significant change that's happening in my business. And, change is not always easy. Growth is not always easy. But you can't expect yourself to grow and also at the same time, like, stay comfortable. Growth requires change. Growth requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Growth requires you to even have an identity shift. And I have been saying lately that growth is my middle name because I don't know about you, I think so many of you guys here watching, you can't stay stagnant. Like, you literally don't have it in you to just stay stagnant. Hello, Jen. I get lit the heck up whenever I grow, whenever I push myself out of my comfort zone. I know so many of you guys are the same. It's almost like I feel more unfulfilled when I just stay the same than I do when I push myself and I stretch myself and I challenge myself. That's what actually lights me up. And so many of you guys also feel that. It's like I'm meant to do big things in this world. I want to challenge myself. I want to show myself what I'm capable of. And that's kind of been my life for the past multiple years of doing a lot of this personal development work. And so I've been feeling this pull that something needs to change and I just can't ignore it anymore. And so how this live stream is going to work is, the first thing is I'm going to share an upcoming change that I'm making in my business. The second thing, I'm going to share why I've made these changes and how I listen to my intuition and different tools that I use to gain clarity. And then number 3, we are going to wrap things up with a special opportunity for you guys. So I'm going to share some context before I even share the change. I think it's very important for me to be very intentional with this live stream so you can really feel my heart, you can feel my intentions, and then we'll move forward from there. So in October of 2023, 2 years ago actually, I launched my Root and Rewire membership. And if you're live, if you're catching the replay, and if you've ever been inside of the Root and Rewire membership, let me know in the chat box. My membership has been my baby. Like, when I launched it, I was so lit the heck up. I really created this space to give you all of the foundational tools. You know, it's like I'm thinking if somebody doesn't even know where the heck and bob to begin, I wanted to create a space, a program where if you were like, I don't even know where to begin healing my relationship with food. How do I even stop binge eating? Like, what are the first few steps? Like, I don't even know what to do. Where do I start? I wanted to create the Root and Rewire membership. Cindy's like, yes, so amazing. Yeah, Cindy was like the first person to join, or the second person to join, actually. And I wanted to create this space where you knew exactly what to do to improve your relationship with food, to stop eating when you're full, to eliminate your urges. Like, I wanted this space to be the place. We had over 100 people join, and it was literally incredible. And I would say 99.9% of my clients who have conquered binge eating, they actually all started inside of the Root and Rewire membership. Like, the clients that have fully conquered, they're no longer binging, they've all started in the membership. Now they've transferred to Conquer in the academy, but they all began in the membership because they learned the foundational tools. So Root and Rewire membership is where my journey began. Yes, Erin says that too. Now she's in the academy, but so many people started inside of the membership. And this membership hasn't just helped these clients stop binge eating and have a better relationship with food. This membership has helped clients become more patient with their children, have a better intimate life with their husband, stop feeling like they're living a double life. One of my clients who graduated the membership, she said, I don't feel like I'm living a double life anymore. And so I realized something. There are no other tools I need to be teaching when it comes to the foundations. I have poured my heart and my soul into the Root and Rewire membership. Every single thing that you need to learn the foundations, to have a better relationship with food is inside. There are trainings on every single thing. How to stop thinking about food, how to stop secret eating, how to no longer give in to your urges, how to get back in tune with hunger and fullness cues so you can stop when you're full, how to eat what you're craving without spiraling into a binge, how to shift your identity out of being someone who binges, how to master your habits, how to stop people pleasing, what to do before, during, and after a binge, how to skyrocket your confidence, literally everything. And so I had a moment with myself. And I said, I have taught it all. Hi, Jen. Jen is inside of the membership. I said to myself, I have taught everything where people go from out of control, thinking about food 24/7, leaving their meals feeling uncomfortably full, to eating like a badass, to enjoying sweets with full control. I realized that there's no other foundational tools that I need to be teaching because they're all there. I've literally shared all of the tools. It's all there. And although my clients who are now no longer binging, no longer thinking about food, they're feeling confident, they're owning their food choices. Although my clients have progressed, and maybe we're not really having a lot of conversations anymore about like necessarily like feeling out of control and release your food rules. We're not really having those conversations, especially with the clients that are in Conquering the Academy. But I said there's still so many people who need the foundations. There are still so many people that are thinking about food all day, that have these strong urges to binge, that are using food for comfort in the evenings, that are taking so long to decide what to eat, and they need these tools to get to where my clients are right now. And so, being very honest, I felt really torn because a part of me said, I don't need to be talking about these tools anymore because they're already inside of my membership. There's no other foundational tools. Once you learn the foundational tools, you've learned the foundational tools. And so I said, there's no other tools I need to be talking about. They're all inside the membership. But also, not everyone has the tools. Not everyone is at the place where my clients are at, where now we're having higher level conversations where we're not really talking about some of the foundational stuff. The only reason my clients are where they are, no longer binging, is because of the membership. So I already know that everything is inside. And I really sat with myself and I said, something needs to change. So what the change is I have decided to do one more final round inside of the Root and Rewire membership, and then it will be closing. So you have one final opportunity to get inside the Root and Rewire membership to learn all of the tools that have helped my clients go from feeling out of control, constant food thoughts, eating past fullness, using food for comfort, to literally going months without binging, eating like a badass that loves themselves, no longer having crazy food thoughts, feeling like an unstoppable badass in their own skin. You have one final opportunity to jump inside. So, doors to the Root and Rewire membership are officially closing on January 16th. After that date, no one will ever be able to join the Root and Rewire membership. I will be running the membership for a full year. Okay, so I'm going to still be running the membership for a full year. But the last date to join forever is January 16th. So I really thought long and hard about this because I want to give you all one last opportunity to get inside. I couldn't just close it. Like, these tools change my clients' lives. Now, although my clients are no longer in this place of feeling crazily out of control with food, like especially the clients that are in Conquering the Academy, and we're having different levels of conversations, I also know that some people still need to be inside of the membership. And so I didn't want to just say, hey guys, I'm closing the membership and that's it. I am giving you guys one final opportunity to get inside, to learn the Root and Rewire process that we're famous for, that hundreds of clients have implemented, which is why they are where they are right now. So again, I'm doing one final round of the Root and Rewire membership. In order to be part of this round for either 6 or 12 months, you have to join before January 16th. After that, doors are closing and you will not be able to join ever again. Like, the doors will be closing. Although I'm going to be still coaching my clients in the membership for a full year, no one's going to be able to join the membership ever again on January 16th. So January 16th, I'm running it for a full year, and it's going to close eventually in 2027, but you will not be able to join after January 16th of this January. Once you're inside, you're locked in. Once you're a member, you're a client, you still get coaching from me inside, but if you don't join before January 16th, you will not be able to join. It's going to close, and the membership will be closing. So I'm going to take a few moments to share what's inside of the membership and the bonuses for joining now, okay? So And then I'm also going to share, of course, the intuitive based decisions, how I make intuitive decisions that is going to be really supportive for you. So, the Root and Rewire membership. This is where you learn every single tool that you need to rewire your brain out of the restrict binge cycle. Everything. I'm talking how to stop thinking about food, how to reconnect back to hunger and fullness so that you can effortlessly stop when you're full. There's trainings on how to stop giving into your urges, what to do before feeling an urge to help you not give in, how to stop in the middle of a binge, what to do after a binge instead of beating yourself up, how to actually stay consistent and not get in the effort mentality as soon as you just overeaten, how to get out of the all or nothing mentality, how to make intuitive based decisions with food so that you can be that person that just opens the fridge and you're like, what do I feel like to eat? And you just effortlessly decide. Where food's not on your mind 24/7, you can actually have lunch without the little inner voice being like, are you sure you want those carbs? Everything that you know, everything that you need to know is inside. Trainings that you're able to watch. And this is where you learn the entire root and rewire process and how to actually rewire your brain out of these habitual cycles. Every single month, you get group coaching with me on Zoom. This is where you come on, you ask your questions, you can get support. And this is where whatever it is that you need support with, I will support you. I will give you guidance. This is also where you got to connect with the other badasses. I hear this all the time. It's like, I didn't think I had a question. And then somebody asks a question and it's like, let's say it's about, somebody got triggered about a comment that somebody made about their body. And the coaching that I just gave that person was so valuable for the person who didn't even think they had a question. They're like, whoa, I'm going to use that next time. Or I had that question, or I had the exact same thoughts, and you really feel less alone. So you get that, and then a monthly masterclass or challenge with me. So every single month you are becoming less impulsive with food. Right now, we have the Regulate and Rewire 30-day holiday challenge that you're going to get access to. So every single month, there's something that you can plug into that's going to help you become less impulsive. Like, I want to make it so stupid simple for you to literally heal your relationship with food. It's like every single month, I want you to be like, I'm feeling way less impulsive with food. And then, of course, you have our badass community that's going to help you rise into the woman that you know you're meant to be, that's going to help you be there for you, to help you easily not give in to your urges, to be someone who deeply loves yourself, to be someone who sees yourself the way that everyone else in the community sees you. So this is a 6 or 12-month program. Of course, because you're a freaking badass, right? You're wanting to do things sustainably, so you commit long-term to your journey of healing. You're committed. It's 6 or 12 months. It's everything that you need. Like I said, every single client that has conquered binge eating that's worked with me, they started inside of the membership. Cindy on here, she started in the membership. Erin is now in the academy. She started inside of the membership. Like, everybody who is literally conquering and conquered started inside of the membership. The reason why I'm not having these foundational conversations with these other clients anymore is because they've all done the work inside of the membership. And so again, I'm giving you one final opportunity to learn these tools. Like, they are gold. They've changed my life. You guys, these tools are why I'm binge free. I've literally packaged them up, but I'm like, here you go. These are the tools. It's changed. It's why I'm binge free. It's not just changed my client's life, but it's also the reason that I am binge free today. It's why I have the most effortless relationship with food. So, January 16th is the final day. Doors close, and you won't be able to join afterwards. Now, the bonuses for joining now. So every single person who joins now before the doors close on January 16th, and by the way, Jen, you will get access to this, okay? You are going to get access to a monthly group breathwork session for the 6 or 12 months that you're inside of the membership. I have never offered this. The only people that get access to breathwork with me is my high-level academy clients. So this is a very special treat I'm fired the heck up of. Breathwork is one of the most powerful tools to help regulate your nervous system, become less impulsive with food, reduce stress and anxiety, let go of limiting beliefs. It's one of the fastest ways to shift your identity. out of binge eating, emotional eating, these patterns, these behaviors. And so every single month, when you join the membership now, this is just a bonus. If you join the membership now between now and January 16th, you're going to also get access to a bonus small group breathwork session with me every single month for the 6 or 12 months. Okay. Now, if you pay in full, you are going to get, so if you pay in full for 6 or 12 months, you're going to get 5 days of private coaching with me and a private one-on-one coaching call with me. So we get to hop on a call and 5 days of private voice messaging, texting me back and forth for private coaching. This is literally insane because the value of this is $555. And you're going to get this if you pay in full for the membership, which doesn't even make sense, but I'm doing it only for the first 10 people. I have to put a cap on it because I won't be able to take more than that. So the first 10 people that pay in full will get the private coaching with me. Okay, so everybody who joins before now and January 16th is going to get the breathwork session monthly, in addition to whatever everything is that's in the membership. And then if you pay in full for 6 or 12 months, you're also going to get the private coaching with me. Okay, so all you need to do is message me membership. Right now, send me a message on my Instagram or my Facebook, message me membership, and I'll send you all the details for that. Okay. This decision feels so amazing. Like, I am so fired up for the people that are going to be doing this round with us. Like, if I'm doing the membership for one final year, you bet I'm dropping the most insane trainings. Like, I already have. This is my heart. This is my soul. This is my business is everything. It's my life's work. I give my heart and my soul every single day, but there's something about the fact that I'm going to only be running the membership for one more full year and then it's closing forever. Like, now my clients, of course, if you're a client, you still get access to it. Okay, so as long as you're a member, you're still going to get access to it, but no one will ever be able to join the membership. This is one final time you got to be inside. And I just feel so good with that in my heart and my soul, because the people that want to do this work with me, like the people who are so serious and committed to actually conquering, that you're going to get inside and you're going to be mind blown of where you're at in a year from now or 6 months from now, depending on if you join for 6 or 12 months. So message me membership and I'll send you the details. And if you're one of the first 10 people to pay in full, we'll also get some private coaching together that we can either do this month or even starting January. Okay. So that was the announcement and it feels so good and I'm so excited. Even though it's a big shift, it's a big change, it feels so right. And now I want to move forward in how I've made this decision and also the different intuitive-based tools that I use on a regular basis that help me actually make these decisions. So when I feel the pull that something needs to change, whether it's, I say it's like a pull, right? It's like a feeling, a download, a hit, whatever it is. When I feel like something needs to change, I don't react right away and say, hurry up, things need to change, and just move. I want to contemplate and I want to make sure that I feel right about the decisions that I make. I want to make sure that I feel that intuitive hit again, and it wasn't just a one-time feeling, or I wasn't just reacting out of emotion. While also balancing this with, I don't take 25 years to decide. I don't overthink. I don't ask 45 other people what they think. I don't think about what are people doing. I move, but I move with intention. So most people make decisions out of emotion. I feel a certain way and then they respond in a very reactive state. Things need to change right now. Things need to shift. And then they move too fast where they don't give themselves time to contemplate. I make sure I continue feeling that intuitive hit and it wasn't just a one-time feeling. When you're constantly feeling that something needs to change, that means something needs to change. But don't confuse that with, well, I need to spend 25 years contemplating. I need to think about it for a really long time before I make a decision. No. I see people taking way too long to make decisions, and then you actually think your way out. You lose your intuition and you get into your logical mind. So oftentimes you feel a pull, you feel a download, you feel a hit. I want to do something. Something needs to change. And then you're like, well, I need to think about it and let me take 20 years to decide. And then you're not feeling that intuitive magic anymore. You're in your head, you're overthinking, you're in your logical mind, and then you lose the magic. Again, though, when you make decisions way too quickly, if it's out of a feeling or emotion, and it just sounded good in the moment, and you're reactive, well, that's also not the best either, because it's like, oh, I actually don't feel that way anymore, but shoot, I just made that decision. So it's finding the balance between, I don't just react. I don't just feel a feeling that something needs to change and then make changes tomorrow or even today, because I want to make sure that I'm still feeling that intuitive pull again, but I also don't take a week. I also don't take a month. I also don't take 20 years. That's self-sabotage. Many of you guys that are going to be watching this are actually self-sabotaging yourself. You're like, no, I'm thinking about the decision. When actually, you know the decision, but you're procrastinating, you're self-sabotaging yourself. You just got to actually decide and move. So I don't make decisions in a reactive state, but I also don't take a really long time. When you take a long time, you lose the magic, you lose your intuition, you lose the spark, you get in your head, out of your body. And if you also just decide way too quickly, that you might just be reacting out of a feeling or an emotion, not actually something that you really want. So for me personally, Andrew and I were in the car and we were having a conversation. We're always talking about growth. And it's so funny because Andrew and I, whenever we're in the car, we have these like really incredible conversations. And he keeps always saying, like, I feel like we should just press record. We should do a podcast. Like, we have the best conversations about life, growth, evolution. Like, we literally have conversations about everything. He's like, we should literally create a podcast together. And who knows? We used to do tea and teachings, if you guys remember that. But anyways, and he's coming to the event, by the way. We're at the Unstoppable Badass event 2.0. Of course, he's going to be there. He was at 1.0, and he's going to be there again in May for the second Unstoppable Badass event, and you guys are in for a treat. But anyways, so we were having these conversations, and I felt the pull of like something needs to change with the Root and Rewire membership, and I something needs to change. But I didn't say, okay, tomorrow I'm changing this. I gave myself space, but not too long, just a few days. So I first felt the feeling and I observed it, and then I checked in with my body, and then I gave myself space so that I ask myself tomorrow, do I still feel this way? So I felt the pull, I observed it. I didn't say, I'm going to spend all of December deciding, too long. And I also did not say tomorrow things need to change. Now, I do not let resistance stop me from listening to my intuition. Resistance, fear, doubt does not mean don't do it. Sometimes resistance means this is big. This is so big. Your heart is exploding. You care. Because there was resistance when I was thinking about this decision. My body, my soul knew that I needed to make a shift. But the mind likes to keep you safe. And there's often resistance whenever you are making a decision because the brain wants to keep you safe. I was just looking at the chat. Cindy said, I'm so excited for what's to come. Yes. Erin says, I have quite literally listened to every single podcast episode. Totally remember tea and teachings. You and Andrew are an amazing duo. Love the conversations you have together. Yes, and you have your ticket to the Unstoppable Badass event, and you are in for a treat. Actually, having us both there in person, it's going to be next level. So when I thought about this decision about, doing the membership one final round and then actually closing doors, there was resistance. I told Andrew, I said, this is something that I know I need to do. My body was like, yes, but my identity, that was rooted in my Root and Rewire membership didn't want to be let go of. I actually said this to Andrew. I said, I know I need to make this change, but my identity is rooted in the Root and Rewire membership. Everybody knows me for the Root and Rewire membership. The name, the branding, everything that's inside. I poured my heart and my soul into the membership, the community, the transformations. I literally said, that's going to be a shift in my identity. I literally said this. That's going to create an identity shift for me. Everybody knows me for it. But with any change comes a change in identity. You can't expect yourself to change, but have the same identity. You can't expect yourself to change, but then you see yourself the same way that you've always seen yourself. That doesn't make sense. If you change, that means that there's going to be a change in identity. And that's actually a good thing. You're growing. You're evolving. There should be resistance. And this wasn't resistance in terms of I don't want to do it. It was resistance of this is a really big move. You're going to have a shift in identity. You're letting go of something. But just like conquering binge eating, if you hold onto a safe, familiar identity, you can't conquer. If you constantly tell yourself, well, this is who I am, I can't change. I've always struggled with my weight. I've always thought about food. I always use food for comfort. It's going to be harder for you to change because you're clinging to an identity that's not serving you anymore. And so same with life. If you hold on to identities from years ago, you're not going to grow. And this is what I had the conversation. I said, I birthed the membership in 2023. And I've had this membership for 2 years. And I said, if I decide to, do one final round and then the people that want to come in will come in and the people that don't, they're not going to get an opportunity. It's a big shift in identity of I'm not going to be the Root and Rewire membership queen anymore. But shifting your identity is the greatest thing. It means you're growing. It means you're evolving. I don't want to be the person that I was in 2023. I want to be evolving. I can't expect my clients to grow and change and evolve and for me to stay the same. I want to have conversations on different topics. And so I have to let myself evolve. I have to let myself go first and then take you guys along with me. So resistance doesn't mean don't do it. Fear doesn't mean don't do it. Doubt doesn't mean don't do it. Just because you are known for something does not mean you can't change. The greats change. The greats evolve. That's what makes them great. They don't stay stagnant. They give themselves permission to change and to evolve. I swear the freaking iPhone changes every month. It's iPhone 13, iPhone 16 plus. They're successful because they change. They're innovative. They allow themselves to change. Grocery stores change, shopping malls change, businesses change, people change, products change. It's part of life. So even though I knew that this change would lead to a really big, massive identity shift, I said, we gotta go. When there's fear or there's a shift in identity, I don't pull back. When there's resistance, I don't pull back. I lean forward and I say, bring it on. I want to shift. I want to evolve. I am stepping into a new identity. That's a good thing. When you're shifting identities, you might be seeing it as like a loss. Like I remember when I was transitioning out of binge eating, I almost felt like I was mourning this older version of myself who all she knew was like comforting herself with food. And it kind of felt scary to shift out of binge eating because it's who I was for so long. But I saw that as I don't want to be that person anymore. I have to let myself evolve. I started seeing change in identity as I am stepping into an even greater version of myself. Better things are coming. The best is yet to come. I see a shift in identity as a blessing. You are seeing a shift in identity as, oh my gosh, this is scary. But what if you meet the greatest version of yourself? You are not going to meet the unstoppable badass woman within you unless you shift your identity. You have to be willing to shift your identity. If you want to change and grow and step into the greatest version of yourself, you cannot hold onto an old identity that you have outgrown. It's this. What identities are you holding on to? Because they're safe and they're familiar, but you're meant to do something else, but you're still holding on to an old identity. Now, listening to your intuition doesn't mean you're going to feel good all the time. It's not going to feel great all the time. Sometimes it feels rocky until you make the move. Sometimes it's exciting and then resistance pops up and then fear comes in before it gets good again. And that's all perfect. Now, I shared that resistance doesn't mean don't do it. There's two different types of resistance. There's resistance in terms of I want this, but it's a big change. And there's resistance in terms of truth resistance of no, this actually does not feel good and I don't want that. It's clear to me I don't want that. So there's resistance in terms of I want this, but maybe it feels scary. It's a big shift. And then there's also resistance in terms of, but no, I don't want this. Last year, actually, I had the thought of doing a final round and then closing the membership. And there was resistance, but it was truth resistance, meaning I wasn't ready to run it one last time. So how do I know the difference? My body, not my head. Your body holds the truth. Your body will tell you what's a heck yes, what's a heck no. Through the contraction and the expansion. It's like an opening of your body, like, yes, this feels right. Or like, no, I can't do that. It's like a contraction in your body. Your body holds the truth. You have to ask yourself, how does your body feel when you think about making a shift? Because sometimes you'll get a download, right? You'll get this thought, you'll get this feeling. And then your body contracts and your shoulders move forward and you're like, no, I don't want that. Versus, yes, that feels so good. And it's like this opening. So when the next time you're making a decision, you can close your eyes and I want you to think about the decision that you've been wrestling with. And picture yourself saying yes to that decision. And then you can notice what your physical body does. Is it expansion? Like, is it an expansion? Is it like this opening, this softening, like, whew, yes. Or does it feel like a contraction? Picture yourself saying no to that decision. What happens to your body if you say no to that decision? Is there a tightness in your body? Is there a contraction? Does your shoulders move forward? Your intuition, that's your intuition speaking. What does your body do? How does your body feel? And you might have to do this a few times to kind of notice, but your body holds the truth. So last year, when I had that thought, logically in my mind, I was like, okay, makes sense to shift things around. But my body was like, no. So there was resistance, but it was truth resistance of like, no, I actually don't want that right now. That doesn't feel good for me right now. It was a contraction. And this time it was an expansion. There was resistance, but also excitement. My body was like, yes, yes, yes. Last year, it was like, logically, okay, that makes sense. Like, okay, I've already taught the foundational tools. So like, let's get everyone else inside. Let's do the foundational tools one more time. And it didn't feel, I wasn't ready to do that. This year, my body is like, yes, yes, yes. So I don't make decisions from my mind. I make decisions from my body. I go with the feeling, not always the logic, but what actually makes sense. Or sorry, not always what makes sense because that's logic, but it's the feeling. If you only make decisions from your mind, you are going to spend the rest of your life overthinking. If you try to make a decision based off of what you think you should do versus what feels right in your body, you're not going to be happy. Should you leave a job that you've been at for 10 years if you're unhappy? Well, the logical thing is, no, you've been there for 10 years. Logically, no, are you crazy? That doesn't make sense. But your body is like, I need to leave. Does it make sense for you to move away from family? Logically, doesn't make sense. But maybe your body is like, but this place, I want to move there to a different location. My body is telling me I want to move there. Are you listening to what your mind is telling you of like the logical thing? Okay, so, even like, okay, get married, then move in together, then have kids. Like, who said that that's the right order? Logically speaking, you should do this. Okay, you should go to university, you should get a job. Like, what? What feels right for you? I don't listen to my logical brain that says, this is step one, this is step two. I used to be very logical, and holy shit, all I did was freaking overthink the whole time. I had anxiety. I was overwhelmed. When you listen to your mind, you spiral, you overthink, okay, this is the right thing, but I don't want to do it, and then you're not happy. Versus listening to your body and it's like, oh, this feels right, yes. Your body knows what you desire. I don't do necessarily what's like the most right logical thing. I do what feels right for me. So some people will be like, Lorna, like, or some people like, or does it make logical sense for me to just run the membership one more time and then to close it? Does it make logical sense? Some people would say no. But my body knows. My body is like, we're doing one final round. The people that want to come in are going to come in. The people who are committed are going to come in and do this with me, and they're going to conquer binge eating. And then that's it. I'm going to have higher level conversations with the topics I want to bring forward with clients in the Conquer in the Academy. Right? Like, I don't just do what logically makes sense. I do what feels right for me. I follow my intuition because I know I'm Delulu. Who else is Delulu? Anyone else is delusional? I love being delusional. I love doing things that I want to do, regardless if it makes logical sense or not. I've made so many delusional moves in my life. Last year, so actually a year ago, last year, my mentor hosted an in-person retreat, and I said yes to it. It was like $20,000 for a weekend. And I was like, holy moly. But my body was like, I need to be there. So I said yes. Did it make logical sense? No. But I was like, let's freaking do it. When I went from being a personal trainer, a health coach, having a fitness studio in person, to then changing careers essentially and being a coach that helps women with their relationship with food and going online and moving my business to help women worldwide, did that logically make sense when I actually had a physical location and I was personal training? Did it make logical sense for me to shift? No. Did it make logical sense? My body was guiding the way. I couldn't not do it. Right? So there's so many different things in my life where logically it doesn't make sense. But I don't look to like, what's the right thing? Okay, let me like weigh out the pros and cons. What is everyone else doing? What is everyone else doing? I don't care what anyone else is doing in the most loving way. I don't want to do what other people are doing. I want to be different. I want to be someone that goes above and beyond. When most people aren't doing things, I'm going to be the one doing it if it feels right for me. If it doesn't feel right for me, I'm not going to do it. But if it feels right for me and my body is telling me, Lorna, do this, go to the event, work with this coach, I listen. And even 2022, there was a mentor for my business that I saw online. And she shared like she's doing 2 months of coaching. And so I reached out. I said, okay, perfect. What's this 2 months? And she shared, she's like, okay, it's $43,000 for 2 months of coaching and you get 3 calls. And I said to Andrew, I want to do this. And he's like, I don't know if this makes logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense, honey. I know it doesn't, but my body, my body's telling me do it. Okay, honey, this doesn't make sense. Like logically, 2 months, $43,000. I don't know if this makes sense, honey. Honey, I know it does not make logical sense, but I can't describe this feeling. My body is like, I need to do it. I want to do it. I ended up doing it. Did it make logical sense? Hell no. It was a little batshit crazy. But my body was telling me do it. So I make these moves in my life, not what's the right thing, what's the logical thing to do. I listen to my body. I cannot ignore the feeling. And maybe you've experienced this before too. Maybe you have a husband that's more logical and you're trying to explain to your husband, but like, it's just this feeling like, but like, I have to do this. And he's like, it doesn't make sense. And you're like, I know it doesn't make sense, but I can't describe the feeling. My body's telling me I need to go do this. I do what I want. Even if it doesn't make logical sense, I follow the feeling. Now, I don't try to replicate things that have gone well in the past. I let myself evolve and make things even better. So oftentimes, I just need a sip of water because I'm going ham on this training. And if you are enjoying this, let me know in the chat box how you guys are enjoying this. Shanette is here. Shanette, welcome, Shanette. So oftentimes, people hold on to things that have worked in the past instead of letting themselves try new things to experience something even better. It could be a job. Maybe you're like, oh, it doesn't make sense for me to leave this job because it's really good pay, but you're not happy. Maybe you're in a relationship, a friendship. Oh, but like we've been friends for 7 years. So like logically, it doesn't make sense if we part ways. Like we were best friends for 7 years. It doesn't make sense to just part ways. But your body is like, but we don't vibe anymore. Things can be good, but are you holding on to the good to avoid something even better? Just because you don't want to shift things? You don't want to rock the boat? People are so afraid. When things are good, What if things get worse though? But what if I go backwards? My thought is, what if things get even better? The truth is, when you listen to your intuition, things are always going to be better because your intuition will never leave you astray. But you have to be willing to let go of things that don't serve you anymore, or you have to be willing to see things differently. That, one of my clients, she was in a job and it was great pay. It was like everything was good about her job. She enjoyed it, but her body was like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Logically, does that make sense? No. Great job. She was fulfilled, but her body said, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And she went with her intuition. And she said it was the greatest thing. So you have to be okay with things being good and also making changes. Even when I was on a call with my clients on Tuesday, I said, change doesn't come only when you're at rock bottom. Things could be really good in your life, and you make changes because you want things to be even better. Even right now, my business everything's going great. And I could just be like, well, things are good. Yeah, but I want things to be extraordinary. So I don't just change when things are at rock bottom. Things are going good. I'm like, how can I make shit even better? You might be in a friendship that's good, but you know that things could be even better. A job that's good, but you know things can even be better. And you have to give yourself permission to change and to evolve into good to great, great to extraordinary. From badass to unstoppable badass. This is where the identity shift comes into play. Oh, but everybody knows me as the lawyer. Everybody knows me as a stay-at-home mom. Everybody knows me as I'm the healthy, fit one. But everyone who? Why are you so worried about what other people think about you? You're holding on to an identity. Yeah, but everyone knows me as this. I can't change. In order to grow, in order to expand, you have to shift your identity. You have to let yourself evolve. You have to give yourself the desires of your heart. And when you feel the pull that something needs to change, you can't hold onto an identity that you've outgrown. Are you living for other people or are you living for you? What I know for certain is that if you make decisions based off of other people, what they say, what are they going to think, you are going to be so freaking unhappy. I see this all the time. It's like, oh, but like my mom is going to be so mad if I left this job, or my parents told me I need to go in this direction, or my husband wants me to do this. Okay, but what the heck do you want? Just because other people want you to do something, what do you want to do? Just because people have known you as one identity doesn't mean you can't change. Please freaking change. There are some people that you haven't seen in like 5, 10, 15 years, and maybe you bump into them and you're like, what's new? And they're like, same old. Not much has changed. I don't see that as a badge of honor. I'm like, just being very blunt, like that's boring. I want someone to see me even a month later and they're like, whoa, I want to evolve. And I do. I do. Every time, Andrew and I always talk about this, every time we see family members or we see people, it's like, we're on to the next thing. Like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm bettering myself. That's what I personally want. What do you want? Just because other people want you to do something or they've known you in one way, you can change. It's not something that's like a nice thing to do, like, oh, it'd be good to change. It's a requirement to grow. People are so afraid of change. Like, but what if things aren't as good? And I'm like, but what if things can be even better? And you might say, but it feels safe. I'm safe here and things are good. So like, I don't have to change. Even when I was a personal trainer and a health coach, things were good, but I was just being complacent. I wanted things to be even better. Your body is craving growth. And actually, you think staying the same is safe. You think staying where you are is safe. But expansion actually feels more safe because your nervous system is more relaxed because you know that you're actually going for it. You know that you're actually listening to your intuition. You think you're safe in this comfort zone, but your nervous system actually isn't relaxed because your body knows you're playing small. Well, but I'm comfortable here. It's safe here. Yeah, but you're actually not feeling safe every single day because you know that you actually want to do that and you're not doing it. So the whole time you're thinking about that thing and your nervous system is like, Think about binging. You say it's like, oh, it feels safe to binge. But you'll feel even more safe, no longer even worrying about ever overeating ever again. It's like, you won't. That's real safety. Oh no, but binging feels so safe. No, what's actually safe is you don't need food to comfort yourself. You know how to comfort yourself without food. That's actually the real safety. Safety isn't playing at a comfortable level. Safety is actually going for it, pushing yourself, showing yourself what you're actually really capable of. That's when you feel really safe because you're like, I went for it. I gave it my all. That's actually true safety. What's not safe is going through life playing it safe, staying in your comfort zone, not stretching yourself. That's actually the most unsafe thing that you can do. You got to stretch yourself. You got to step out of your comfort zone. And by the way, Academy clients, check Slack, by the way, if you haven't yet. Side note, we're wrapping things up here. So even when it comes to certain topics that I want to discuss in my business, like maybe you guys have noticed, like, yes, I talk about binge eating, but I also talk about like boundaries and standards and time management. One of my clients actually just hired me. She joined the Root and Rewire membership. And she said, I listened to one of your lives about asking for help. And she's like, I recognize like I'm trying to juggle everything myself and like I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that live really hit me. Like I needed to get help. I can't try to do everything on my own. I want to talk about these conversations, healing your relationship with rest, creating boundaries for yourself, standing up for yourself. I want to have these other conversations. And so I let myself. It's interesting. I actually started bringing forward these conversations, and someone commented on one of my posts, and she said, I wish you just only talked about binge eating. Like, I miss when you used to only talk about binge eating. And I'm like, if I let that person control my decision, I wouldn't feel fulfilled. I'd rob myself of joy, and I wouldn't impact the people who are so grateful that I bring forward other topics. When I was at the Unstoppable Badass event 1.0, we were at the VIP dinner. All of my clients were like, you're a life transformational coach. Like, I don't even see you as a binge eating coach. Like, you're my life transformational coach. She's like, I'm so happy you bring forward these other conversations about time management, boundaries, processing emotions, and all these things. Hi, Brittany. I was just sharing to make sure you check Slack. We're almost wrapping up here. And so these clients were telling me like, I want you to have so many other topics. Like, thank you for bringing all these other topics forward. I don't want to just talk about, okay, stop feeling guilty about eating chocolate. Okay, so make sure you're eating enough throughout the day. It's like, okay, we all know that. But the deeper level conversations is the reason why you're turning to food for comfort is you don't know how to freaking say no. Yeah, Brittany's like so glad coaching bigger and broader than just that. Yeah. Like Brittany and I have the best conversations in our academy. But again, she started in the membership. Like, you guys, this is just a testament. Like, she started inside of the membership. She learned all the foundational tools to improve her relationship with food. And now we get to have these other conversations that are changing her life, that go way beyond food, that are helping her evolve into the badass woman that she's meant to be. And she's also coming to the Unstoppable Badass Event 2.0, which I'm so freaking excited about. Erin says, I agree 100%. I love that we discuss all things life. Yes. So right now, maybe you're feeling a calling. You're feeling a calling to change careers, to start a business. But somebody told you, don't do that. Be careful. What? You can't leave that job. You've been at that job for 10 years. Are you sure it's a good idea? Are you listening to them, or are you listening to your inner voice? Anytime you listen to other people, you override your intuition. Your intuition stops getting louder. It actually becomes quieter. Because your body is giving you these downloads and you never listen. So your body's like, I'm not going to send you signals. And then you think you don't have an intuition. You think you can't feel what your body is telling you. No. Your body is telling you loud and clear. You are just not listening to it. You're listening to the voice of your mom. You're listening to the voice of your partner or your brother or your sister, which is why you feel like you don't have an intuition. I don't go to a million people to think, what do you think I should do? When you ask other people, what do you think I should do? Okay, but what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? You are looking for permission to make sure that you're doing the right thing because you don't trust yourself. I need somebody to help me make a decision. I don't know if I trust myself, so I need to ask my mom. I need to ask my brother. I need to ask my friend, what do you think? There's nothing worse, okay? There's nothing worse than getting so fired up about doing a decision and you're like, I want to leave that job or I want to do this, and you have clarity, and then you tell somebody what you're going to do and they shut it down. There's literally nothing worse than that. Have you experienced that before? I've experienced it. I'd be so fired up. I'm like, I want to do this and I'm ready. And then I tell somebody, oh, be careful. Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, I don't know if it's a good idea. And then you literally second guess yourself. Trust yourself. You need to be confident in your decisions. Now, having conversations with a mentor is different. I have conversations with my mentor all the time. This is why we hire coaches and mentors. But I'm talking about people who aren't where you want to be. I don't ask people for their opinion or what do you think about this decision if they are not, if I wouldn't trade places with them, I'm not going to ask them, what do you think? I remember when I was transitioning out of tracking my food into intuitive eating, and my body was like, yes, do this. I wasn't asking people like, should I do this? My body was screaming, I'm going to eat intuitively. I didn't have to ask anybody. My body just knew. So this is also something else too. If you have to ask somebody else, your friend, a coworker, like, what do you think? It's probably not the plan for you. Because I don't know about you, but when I know I'm going to do something, I don't even have to ask anyone else. I'm like, I'm doing it. When I transitioned from being a personal trainer and a health coach into a woman that helps other people with their relationship with food and life, I didn't ask anyone, what do you think? My body knew. I got a download from God that said, you're going to do this. How can I shut that down? It's like, you're going to do this. When you know, you know. You don't have to ask anyone. You only ask, you're asking your friend, you're asking your partner because you don't trust yourself. Now, again, if you check in every once in a while, like I will bring forward conversations with Andrew, but also he's at a level that he also understands a lot of things that I'm doing, right? So I'm not going to have conversations with a friend of mine who's not in this personal development space because they're just not going to get it. So it's also, who are you asking? Right? Like, again, a mentor, they get you. Maybe your partner is on a level that you're at. Like, I know Andrew and I, we're on the same mindset frequency. So when I bring something forward, it's like I know he gets me. But if I bring something forward to somebody who's not in the personal development space, it's like they might shut down your dreams. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, I don't know, be careful. And you're like, be careful. Like, what? I want to play big. Like, I want to freaking evolve. I want to change my life. What? And again, Brittany said, like, squash my dreams. It's like people who aren't at the level that you're at, I wouldn't suggest you go and ask them for advice. They're going to squash your dreams. They're going to make you play small. If you want to be around people who will freaking help you rise into the badass woman that you're meant to be, like, this is also what my coaching is about. I hold you to a higher standard. Anyways, it's another conversation. We are going to wrap things up because I do have a call that we have to get onto, but I'm just trying to think. Okay, there's just a little bit more. Hopefully you guys are good with this. There's just a little bit more, and then we'll close this out. To find my intuition, I'll close off with this. I can go on for days and days because I'm like, this is just, I've become so intuitive, and I haven't always been this way. So it's like, I just want to share all this with you. So to find my intuition, I find moments of stillness where I'm not stimulated. I will go for walks without listening to something. I will just be with myself. You cannot hear your intuition if your mind is busy. Your mind requires stillness to hear your intuition. If you're constantly listening to something, plugged into something, you can't hear your intuition. And this does not mean, okay, Friday night at 2:00, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to logically plan out if this makes sense. No. This is just giving yourself stillness when you're in the shower, when you're driving. Do you always need to put music on when you're on a drive? Do you always need to listen to something when you're on a walk? Give yourself space, stillness, time to just be with your thoughts. You need to slow down. If you're overwhelmed and then you're trying to tap into your intuition, it is so hard because you're already mumbled, jumbled, and then you're trying to like clear the noise and like find the intuition, but it's like it's all chaotic in there. It's all chaotic in your brain. You're like, where's the intuition? Hello, trying to find the intuition. It's like you have to like dig for it. Versus you find stillness, you work on reducing your overwhelm, and it's like, it's right here in front of you. You need to slow down. You need to pause. You got to give yourself space. Go for a walk by yourself. Have a quiet car ride. It's that. Your intuition doesn't speak when you're ready to hear something. Your intuition speaks when you get quiet. So we need stillness. We need silence. We need to just be with ourselves. Sinead said, I think for most people, the intuition is there. It's more whether we are listening to it or not, and unfortunately ignoring it or doing the opposite of what it says. Yeah, exactly. It's so easy to be like, this is my intuition speaking. And it's like, my body is telling me to do this thing, but we get into our head, oh, I probably shouldn't. Oh, I don't know if it's a good idea. Or we listen to the opinions of other people. That takes away from us actually listening to what we actually want to do. You know, I'm going to close off with this. Again, I can go on for hours and hours. I do have to go into a call, but I just want to like, I'm so grateful for the husbands and partners of clients in my programs that are like, yeah, I told my husband that I'm doing this and I'm joining your membership or I'm working with you. And they were like, continue working with Lorna because you're a happier person. Like, continue working with Lorna because you're so much more patient. Or we have a better intimate life. Like, continue working with Lorna. And I'm like, yes to the people that the husbands and the partners that support their wives and partners, because it's like there's nothing worse than you feeling a pull to go do something and maybe your partner doesn't really understand and you're trying to make them understand, but it's like this feeling I can't describe to you. And so it's always so beautiful when it's just like people just get it, when you know, when you know. All right, I can go on for days and days and days, but we are going to wrap up. This is the change. There's one final round of the membership, and then the doors are closing forever. So first things first is January 16th. That is the final day to join the Root and Rewire membership. I'm going to run the membership for a full year, and then it's closing. So only like members, if you're a member, obviously you'll still have access to it, but you will not be able to join after January 16th. So if you want to get where all my clients are, they're like no longer pinching, they feel like they're making confident decisions with food, like they've completely changed their relationship with food, and you want to get there, they all start in the membership. So I'm giving you one final chance to get inside before January 16th. January 16th, doors close. And then for a full year, I'm coaching those clients who are committing for 6 or 12 months inside of the membership. Okay. So, and there's the bonuses that I've mentioned. You get breathwork session with me every single month when you join now between January 16th. And if you pay in full, you get some private coaching with me. So just message me membership and I'll send you all the details. The pay in full bonus is limited to the first 10 people only because I can only do so many calls. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. Any questions, feel free to DM me and message me. Clients, go back to listen to the video that I shared on the first call just for you guys. But thank you guys so much for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'm so fired up about what's to come. Thank you for allowing me to share this and share how I make decisions intuitively. And I wanted you guys to hear the background story so you understand how I always make decisions that are in alignment for me, but also are going to best support you as well too. Because when I'm in alignment, my trainings are fire. So I do this for me and I do this for you as well too. So you're welcome, Shanette. Have a beautiful rest of your day, you guys, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.